Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I agree with you. It's just like, what for you? What do you think is, the reason these people get into power? Like, why is it that they get into these high political positions? If you were to name, maybe one or two things.
Why do they seek power, or
I don't
how
know,
do
why
they
are they
get
in the
there?
position they're in? Like, how did they get there?
I think most of them are narcissists. I think
Hmm.
most of them are really good at conning people, and they're people vote, and I say this over and over again on my show. People vote based on personality rather than policy. And I
Yeah.
used to be that person.
Mm.
I'm sad to say I'm horrified, you know, by some of the decisions I made in my life. And I've even voted for Republicans in the past.
Hmm.
I voted for Bush in his second term because I thought after 9/11, we shouldn't have a changing of the guard, so to speak. We needed to keep the same people in there to continue on, because it would just open us up to another attack if, like, you've got now a changing of the administration going on.
Mm.
I used to vote for the Republican who ran our district because he had been there, and it was like, oh, okay, well, my life's going okay. I guess he's doing all right. I
Hmm.
didn't look at it. Wasn't until Trump came into office, like you, I just wasn't into politics. I hated the news. It's like I have done a complete 180 on who I used to be,
Wow.
because of Trump. So I thank him for that, for opening my eyes and waking me up. But yeah,
Wow.
there's so many people who are like I used to be, who just make decisions based on what's going on in their own life. They don't look at the broader picture. They don't look at the nation. They don't consider what other people are dealing with or living through or going without. They don't look at the person's history, what their voting record is, who's funding them, all the stuff that I do now that I didn't do. And there's just still too many people in this country that are like that. They
Hard
just
work.
see it is, and I think that's why independent media is so important, because they can then get the real information from places like my show or other, people like Kyle Kalinske, or, well, it used to be Rising on the Hill. Now it's Breaking Points with Crystal and Sagar, and, TYT, the Young Turks. Because they're not going to get that on mainstream news. They're not going to hear that, oh, Rahm Emanuel is a piece of shit and Biden shouldn't have him anywhere near his administration because he literally helped to cover up the murder of a black man in his state.
Yeah. Mhm.
As so many people don't know that. They're just like, oh, I see him on MSNBC and he hates all the same people I hate. And he seems like a nice guy and he's part of the resistance. And so they just go with that.
That's a sad part for sure. I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I believe in too. Yeah, you're right. Independent journalists and
Mm-hmm.
people who just like report on information that you would never hear in the news because it's just like not what they would report on. It's probably more, I guess, a place that you should rely on more than going to bigger corporations that their literal sole purpose in their life is to make money, is
Mm-hmm.
to get clicks, get views.
Yeah.
So what gives them a sense of wanting to just tell the truth in what they do, other than, let's say, they want to run a good business and they
Mm-hmm.
have like the highest integrity in the land, which a lot of people do a lot of bad things to get to the top, which I'm not saying that everybody does, but more than likely they're just trying to profit and trying to make their company thrive and
Mm-hmm.
grow, which is like Tucker Carlson. What do you think Fox is playing on?
Right.
The fact that he's a controversial character and then he says crazy stuff and then that
Mm-hmm.
people get upset about it and everybody watches the show because of it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and he knows who his audience is, and that's why he keeps it up. But yeah, I mean, all you have to do is, like they say, follow the money. Even MSNBC, CNN, I mean, the biggest source of income for them comes from their sponsors. So they're not going to tell you that Medicare for all is great, because big pharma and big insurance companies are not going to like that. They're going to get a call afterwards saying, hey, what the hell are you guys doing? What, we're not going to advertise. You're not going to see these commercials from big pharma about all these different pills and potions and stuff every single break. And they know that. So even if it's not like a conscious thing, they know in the back of their mind that they're going to piss off their sponsors if they support the wrong things. So they may not even be explicit in saying, oh, this is bad or this is wrong, but they just won't talk about it. They just won't have a position either way.
Right.
Or, that's the best case scenario. Worst case is what they did to Bernie Sanders. With everybody just bringing out double barrel attacks on him and making it out like it's the worst thing ever if he was to win. Because, they don't want to piss off their sponsors. They don't want to lose their funding.
Money controls everything.
Yeah, they can't pay Rachel Maddow, and I like Rachel Maddow. I think she's a decent person, but, they can't pay her $30 million a year if they lose all their big sponsors. So.
Yeah, where I feel like the independent journalists, they don't have that motive. Like,
right.
You could argue different ways, but I feel like the majority of them are trying to just make it to a point where they can be at, one of those bigger news channels, or maybe they don't want that, but a lot of them are just out there just telling it as it is and just letting people feed on that information. And of course, people have their own reasonings of, you could say, oh, they want clout. They want to know, they want to be in the limelight of, telling the next biggest story. That's their job, is to tell the next biggest thing. Like I would be hard pressed for anybody to say that they wouldn't want that, to be.
Sure, everybody wants the scoop. Everybody wants to be the only one reporting something or the first person reporting it. But for me, I just want people to know what's going on for real, because I don't see things being reported on any of the networks, any of the major networks. And so, I get excited, and it makes me feel good when I have people say to me, wow, you're the only site that's reporting this. I haven't heard this anywhere else. Why isn't this on mainstream media? And, that's my goal. I'm glad that I can be that source and that they are hearing about it. But
that's beneficial. Actually, that's how I found you. I was like, she's posting all the Capitol riot stuff. Like, this is great. Like,
I was going to ask you how you came across my channel.
You asked me that?
No, I was going to ask you how you found my channel.
Yeah, I was on YouTube and I just came across a Capitol riot video, and I was just like, oh, interesting. I think it was Zachary Elma was the first one that I saw, maybe that you did a video on. And I just followed you since then. And then I was like, have you done a video of me yet? I don't know if you saw that comment, and I said, hey, you got to do one of me.
Oh, no. I didn't see that.
That was a while back, but no, I just I found it, I wanted to see the characters of the Capitol riot, because as you know, I'm writing a book as well on the situation, but I needed to know who is who, so I can detail what was transpiring. So that you helped me in that as well, because you identified some people that I had literally no idea how to find. So appreciate that.
Good. Yeah. I'm going to cover all of them until it's the last one. But it was just something that interested me. I was like, who are these people? Because you do hear so many different things. Oh, it was Antifa, it was BLM, it was, they're this person, they're that person. This person is a Democrat. They don't actually support Trump. So I was like, who are these people? I want to know for sure. I want to hear it myself. And for all these people who say, oh, this is all an, FBI spun this narrative. This was a, FBI did this. They set this whole thing up. Like Sidney Powell literally just said that on Steve Bannon's show. With all the trouble she's in, being sued for billions of dollars. No, she's out there still lying about stuff. But I wanted to know myself. And so when people say to me, oh, this is not what you think, it's not what mainstream media is telling you. No, it's what I know. It's what I know for a fact, because I'm literally studying it. Like, I read every single affidavit, every single complaint to get all the details. I don't want it just from the news, because they don't tell you every little detail. I want to know for myself every single thing. And people say, oh, well, the FBI can still spin that, and they're just writing up whatever they want, and they're making stuff up. If you look back at these people's social media history, they would have literally, the FBI would have had literally to started this whole process years ago, like 2016. They would have had to create this whole thing for the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
And literally fabricate social media posts going back years for these people to make this whole thing up. I mean, it's just insane to think of how much they would have to do.
But yeah, I just don't, I'm glad you do that and you take that approach, because I mean, people need that, right? Like they think, oh, it's Antifa. Well, go and watch your channel, and you'll quickly find out that the majority of Trump supporters, and while you're at it, why don't you go look at their social media? Because I mean, they've never been Antifa in their entire life. So yeah, that's good. That's good. Yeah, that's the one. That's why I subscribed to your channel, just because of that, because it wasn't like fake news or just like false information. It was just like, here it is. Here is what they've been charged with. It wasn't like an insertion of a narrative that is like spun to, make people click on it. It's just like, this person was arrested. Here's what they arrested for. And, this was what they said about them. And that's just like, you can't go wrong with that.
Yeah. And that's why I included, the stuff that they reported that you said in the Capitol. And, because I want people to see, I mean, my integrity is everything to me. I don't want anybody ever to question, is she being honest? I mean, like I said, I have a bias, of course. I'm a progressive, but I also want to be completely honest with people. I don't want to pull any punches. I don't want to hide anything just because, it affects my side, or, I mean, if there was something really horrific that came out about Bernie Sanders, I would tell people, because I just want people to know the truth, and I want people to trust me. So, I wanted people to see, okay, this is what John said in the Capitol. These are the comments he made. This is what they allege that he did with the window. But then on the other side, you've got what BLM is saying, and what, so I wanted it all out there. So I didn't want to pull any punches with it.
That's fine.
And let people make up their own mind, or, watch this interview and then decide.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't want any other way. I mean, it's literally what the FBI said about me. Regardless, you're saying it, because they said it. I mean, you're just stating the fact. So I don't feel one way or another about it. It's just like, that's exactly what you are been doing. So it's like, I'm just happy you told the truth on the situation. It's one thing if you're like, John is a member of Antifa, he stormed the Capitol. This is nowhere in that existence where that says that. So yeah,
no, I mean, there was so much conflicting information. And then when I came across that Intercept article, it just brought out so much more to the story. And so I like to add that stuff in, because, people are not one-dimensional or two-dimensional. There's a lot of other things that go on. And there are a lot of people who say, I was Democrat and I voted for Obama twice, and, he let me down. He didn't follow through. He didn't keep his promises. It wasn't hope and change. It was, the big banks were let off the hook, while homeowners took it in the shorts and, were left to twist in the wind. That's true. That really happened. I lived through it. I worked in the mortgage and real estate industry at that time. I know it more than anybody. Mm-hmm. So, I get why those people are like, well, I'm going to give Donald Trump a chance. I'm going to see what this guy, maybe he's different. Maybe he's, I personally saw the kind of person he was from that first statement that he made when he came down the escalator. about Mexicans being rapists and drug dealers. And I was like, no,
Yeah.
no. Okay. I honestly was willing to give him a chance until that. When I
Really?
heard he was running, I was like, well, let me see what he has to say. You know, he seems to have money, so maybe he's not doing it for the money. Maybe he would be decent, you know. But yeah, once I saw the racist stuff, I was like, oh, hell no. No.
Have you read Trump's book?
Oh, no, I've never read it.
Funny thing is, I have read it.
Yeah.
Which people didn't think, yeah, it's just like, you know, your enemy, right? Know people you don't like. I mean,
But he didn't even write it. That's the thing. It's like he had a ghostwriter.
yeah, I mean, but it still gives you information that you probably might not get. I mean,
Yeah.
regardless if I like Trump, he's a smart man because he built an empire on like which is insane at a very young age. But I mean,
that I have to argue with you on.
How so?
When you're handed like, what was it, $400 million or something by your daddy, you didn't build anything.
That is true. That is true.
I mean, we could all build an empire.
And
I think they did the math on it, and they said if he had just literally put it in the bank into like, you know, bonds or something, I forget what the example they used, he would have made more money than what he purports to have now.
Oh, damn. I didn't know that, but yeah, I mean, you're right on that fact. If your dad gives you your money, you know, you're kind of privileged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's never really had to work. I don't know if you've ever read Michael Cohen's book.
No.
Yeah. Disloyal, I think it's called. But, you know, he worked with him for over 10 years, I think it was. And he talks about what an idiot Trump really is. I mean, if it wasn't for people running around, cleaning up his messes and handling stuff for him, he's never wanted to work.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So like, for me, I'm torn because like, one, I think you have to be some sort of smart to be a president of the United States, like get to that place, like some sort of like being able to manipulate people is a form of being intelligent, whether it's right or wrong, whether you know, agree with his messaging. I mean, he still did it. Would you say Hitler is an idiot? I mean, okay, he's a bad person, but
yeah, I think it's a different kind of intelligence. I think it's being able to tap into what people want and what they want to hear. But book smart, no. Yeah. I don't think you have to be book smart at all. And I actually knew a guy exactly like Trump. I actually call him Trump's mini me. Unfortunately became a business partner with him. Exactly like him. Knows exactly what people want to hear. I mean, I would watch him manipulate people. And it took a little while for me to catch on. But yeah, he sees who he can push, who he can't, who he can manipulate, who he can't, who he can talk into certain things. But they're not focused. They don't want to do the work themselves. And, that's what they're great at, is getting other people to do the work for them. Yeah. Coming up with the big ideas and then manipulating people to actually make it happen. But yeah, it is a different form of intelligence, but it stems from narcissism and like a sociopathic type of behavior, because I've never in my life tried to manipulate someone.
It's hard.
I just I don't have the patience or the energy for it. I'm just kind of like I put it out there. It's like, here's what I think. Here's what I feel. You like it or you don't, I
feel you. Yeah.
And I don't have time for the games or playing people. It's like, no, this is who I am. This is how I feel. You do with it what you will. If you're on board, great. If you're not, I'm not gonna play games. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's almost like a sick game with him.
It is.
But yeah, he does have that innate ability to figure out, and this is like the guy I knew, to figure out what someone likes about themselves, what they think is special about themselves, and then they praise it to win you over, to make you feel comfortable. And, you know, I mean, a great salesman doesn't do all the talking. They listen, and they use perception, and they wait to hear what you like, what you feel good about, what you feel good about yourself. And then they'll use those things against you.
Yes.
So yeah, it is in a way a sort of intelligence, but as far as his money, I mean, most of the stuff that he has his name on, he doesn't even own.
Yeah.
They were just licensing deals.
Yeah.
And I mean, the guy's gone bankrupt like what, 4 or 5 times. I mean, that's
insane.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that he was able to get away with it and, was able to write off all of that cash, it just shows you. I mean, you and I couldn't do that.
Yeah, that's the intelligent part what I'm talking about. I'm not saying so smart as book smart or like something in that way, but I'm saying like he was able to manipulate his way past the point of like multiple bankruptcies. And then he was able to get to the point of a president of the United States. So it's like the manipulation game is stronger than a lot of people's ability to do so. So regardless, maybe he's just gifted in that area, but that's what I mean by smart in a way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
no, I would agree with you on that.
Would I be that way?
Have that ability.
Yeah. It's just like, could we do that if we tried our hardest? Probably not. But they're good at that. It's just like Olympic athlete, and they're naturally gifted at the 100-meter dash. And are you ever going to be able to run as fast as Usain Bolt? No, but he does what he does.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. No, I take issue with people saying, oh, he's a great businessman. No, I mean, he's had more screw ups than he's had successes from everything I've read and everybody who knows him and has talked about it. And he just, through his ability to manipulate and connections, which is why I really question all of his foreign connections. He's been able to get away with a lot of this stuff. And, I think is it Ireland now? I'm pretty sure it's Scotland. They're actually now looking into where he got the money for his golf course out there. Yeah. Yeah. A judge had said, no, you're not allowed to. And then they found out that, they actually kind of lied about the reason why they weren't allowed to. And so now, the people in the country are pushing for that to find out because they believe it came from nefarious sources.
As they should.
Yeah.
They should. I mean, he's had lawsuit after lawsuit, bankruptcy.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's not a good businessman. No. You failed a lot of times, but you were able to con people out of it. That's the only thing.
Yeah. Yep. But hopefully his luck is running out.
I pray to God. But I mean, every single time I see in the news, I'm like, Trump. Something's being said. I'm like, just leave him alone. You ain't got to say nothing about him.
Yeah.
Saying something keeps him relevant. He feeds off of that.
That's true. Yeah. He does love to hear his own name.
He says that in his book, that he feeds off the media and he uses it to promote his name. And I was like, this makes sense now. Why you're doing what you're doing, because you're just trying to stir up issues to keep your name in the media, which is causing a lot of violent altercations. Yeah.
That's true. But, as long as they keep fighting what happened in the election and they keep all of these ridiculous audits and everything else going, he's not going to go away completely. I mean, unless he is arrested, unless he is, charged with something serious, like Giuliani is, like you were saying, is now being quiet. And I don't even think Trump is smart enough to keep quiet if he was seriously in jeopardy.
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, I'd be interested to see the January 6th committee comes out with, like,
Yeah.
all the information they uncovered, because they requested a whole bunch of documentation just I think a couple of days ago. So
Yeah.
that's gonna be huge for that to be.
If they don't do what the Democrats typically do, which is punk out. If the Democrats don't pull their typical, well, we asked for it and they said no. So gosh golly, I guess there's nothing we can do. It's like,
True.
I'm so sick of them being so goddamn weak all the time. It's like, God, just grow a pair of ovaries already. Seriously.
We'll cross our fingers for that, because I'm quite interested to see all the evidence that they got out there. Sure,
Yeah.
everybody is.
Yeah. Yep. Well, I will definitely keep everybody posted on that. I'm kind of waiting until everything kind of shakes out and I see what they're actually going to do before I start reporting it.
Smart.
So, because like I said, their typical move is they try, like you give it a half-hearted attempt. And then as soon as they get pushed back, they're like, oh, well.
I'll be mad if they do that. Seriously. I actually want the
Yeah.
committee. Like, people are like, why you want? I want the committee because it will literally tell everybody the truth of the situation.
Yeah.
Period. The
Yeah,
Trump
let's
supporters
hope.
don't want a committee.
Yeah,
They're like,
exactly.
Nope.
Exactly.
No committee.
Yeah. They think it was all Antifa and BLM, but yet they don't want a committee to investigate it. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. You guys are covering up shit.
You would think Trump supporters would be pushing for a committee to investigate if they really believe that it was all Antifa and BLM.
Yeah, all the Antifa
Yeah.
members will come out and all their plots and schemes, right?
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, which tells you that Trump supporters don't even buy their own bullshit. They don't even believe it.
They don't. But it's fine,
Yeah.
Let them kill themselves, hang themselves, so to say.
Yeah.
Soon we'll be told that they're wrong and everybody else is right.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I really appreciate you taking this time with me, John. I appreciate you coming on and being as open about everything as you have been.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me. I appreciate the openness of you wanting to understand. I mean, it's just, starts with a simple discussion. So I do appreciate that.
Yeah, I do like to hear, it may not seem like it from my show. A lot of people are probably thinking I'm full of shit, but I do like to hear the other side, because not everything that everybody says on the right is a lie. There's even some things that crazy Alex Jones says that I'm like, yeah, that's actually legit, not his Sandy Hook and, crazy conspiracy theories. But yeah, they're, and people on the left are too quick to dismiss it. And I get it, especially with him, because he is insane about a lot of things. And, the guy literally rips his shirt off and screams and yells like a maniac. So it's like, how do you take him seriously? But yeah, we can't just offhand dismiss every single thing from the other side.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's not good to do it that way. You limit your knowledge for that too, because they might have good information that you can utilize. If you just shut it off, then you're just sort of cutting your own foot off in a way.
Right. Yeah, I don't want to be in an echo chamber any more than the people on the right are in an echo chamber. I don't want to just automatically assume that every single thing coming from the other side or any ideas that they have are necessarily bad or wrong or untrue, because you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
And
Simple as put it.
Yeah.
You're right.
And
You don't know what you don't know.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I did want to hear from you personally about all of this stuff that I've been reading and put in the video short about you. I wanted you to be able to tell people from your own mouth what's true, what's not, from your perspective.
I appreciate that. Hopefully it gave you perspective. Hopefully I answered some unanswered questions. So
yeah, you did. You opened my mind and my eyes about a few things and made me think differently. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah. free to come on my show as well, or on my channel. I do
Oh,
occasional
yeah. I
reviews
would
and
love that.
podcasts. Just have a discussion on certain topics. Yeah, be quite
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, that would be great. Anytime. Just send me an email. Let me know.
Awesome. Sounds good to me.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Sean. If there's anything else that you think of or comes up, feel free to reach out. I can do a follow-up with you or just on my own or whatever. Or, if you see any comments after the show airs today and you want to take issue with it, be happy to have you back or to let everybody know what you have to say about it.
All right, perfect. I appreciate that. Yeah, thank you. Hopefully we might be doing it again if don't go to jail. So
Yeah. Yeah.
let's stay out of jail, guys.
Yeah. Not a good place to be. So,
Nope.
well, I wish you all the best. Stay safe out there. And
Thank you.
we'll definitely keep in touch.
Likewise. All right.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.